Welcome to Elevate Springfield, where we will dive into strategies and stories that help you rise to your full potential. Each episode, we'll talk about how you can take intentional steps to elevate your life and your business while making a meaningful impact on those around you. Along the way, we're going to bring in the change makers from our community that are already elevating. We'll bring the actionable strategies, you bring the discipline and follow through, and together we can elevate Springfield.
All right, let's go, Springfield. Time to 10x your day, y'all. Time to level up. Time to crush it. Hey, you are listening to the Elevate Springfield podcast. Robert Farrell here, certified 10x coach, speaker, and mentor, here to bring you actionable strategies. You bring the discipline and follow through, and together we're going to elevate Springfield. Well, you are listening to another segment of Communities Grow Together on the Elevate Springfield podcast. As you know, we drop these segments each week. The Communities Grow Together segment will touch on all things nonprofit associations and how we as a community are working together so we can all grow together. This segment is brought to you by David Hilst, American Family Insurance Agency over on West Wabash. Whatever you need insurance-wise, whether that's business, life, home, auto, or anything in between, hey, David and his team can take care of you. Give them a shout, or hey, stop by and visit them over on West Wabash. These segments are quick hits of actionable strategies and what's going on in our area to help you level up and grow together. Be right back after the break. Looking for personalized insurance with hometown care? David Hilst, American Family Insurance Agent, is here to help you protect what matters most: your family, your home, and your dreams. Whether it's auto, home, life, business, David and his team are proud to serve the Springfield community with trusted advice and reliable coverage. Local service, real relationships, peace of mind. Call today or stop by their office. They can build your dream protection plan together. Call 217-726-6343. All right, and we are back for another edition of Communities Grow Together, brought to you by David Hilst, American Family Insurance Agency. Hey, anything you need insurance-wise, give David and his team a shout or just stop by West Wabash. So joining me today, Rollo, Saucier from Light Up the Park, Chatham Light Up the Park to be specific.
Good afternoon.
How you doing today?
Wonderful, thank you.
Appreciate you coming down and talking to us.
Thanks for inviting me.
Yeah, my family, I have two girls. We've gone to Chatham Light Up the Park for many years. It's always a tradition of ours over the holiday season. So I'm excited to learn a little bit more about the impetus to how it started, what it started as, and how it's changed and all that stuff. And I'm glad you came by to talk to us about that.
Well, thanks for inviting me. This all started out of an idea that the Chatham JCs, with their annual Sweet Corn Festival that we were setting up. I was honestly thinking, I don't remember if it was during the festival or during setup, but it was the very end of the night. And a few of us were sitting around having a beer or two. And someone said, you know, it'd be really cool if we had Christmas lights here in this park. And everyone went, yeah, that's a great idea.
Yeah.
And it grew from there. We were originally aiming to maybe do it in 2012, and somehow we're bright enough to know that we were not ready. And then in 2013, a group of us formed the nonprofit Chatham Friends of the Parks, and we met every Wednesday starting in February, and we made things. We had some very talented people who could weld, and some engineers and stuff, and we started off with these 10-foot long pieces of pipe. We broke the first one, but we ended up with 99 4-foot candy canes, the candy canes that you guide you through the lights. That was the first thing that we made.
That was the very first thing.
We broke the first one, but we had 99 out of there. And that has grown to 126, but those light the way all the way through the park. And we made stars and snowflakes and that type of thing. And just we're plugging along doing things. And then Dave Kimsey, who is actually our mayor right now, but was treasurer of the group, happened to find somebody that there was a shopping center in Michigan that had a bunch of lights, but that property went bankrupt and they had only used them one time. And they were selling them on eBay in 25-foot strands. And we paid way more than we ever intended to do, but we paid a quarter of what they would have cost us normally.
Sure, sure.
And all of a sudden we had 26,000 feet of lights. And so we had, over 5 miles of lights and, needed to do something with them.
Right.
And honestly, if that had not happened, we probably would have failed. Because, we were, think big, but, we were not thinking about anything like that at all. But that's why that first year we had lights in 66 trees in the park. And all the lights that you see around all of our arches and stuff, those are the lights that, that we bought.
Those are all from that
year.
Package? Okay.
Yes, it is. And, then so we made all those arches on our own. And you can see the stars that are on those original ones and the snowflakes and the bells, that we made those all our own. And it just went from there. But it was, there were a series of things that we were just very, very fortunate.
Yeah.
We started with absolutely nothing. Again, the Chatham JCs fronted us a sizable amount of money to start up, and we were able to pay them back over 5 years.
But to be able to find those lights at such a discount early on, that's huge.
Yes. And it was, it really was. And as I say, we probably would have failed had we not done, because, and I will tell you another thing is that we did not get power to the park until the day we opened. And so we did not see it before anyone else did.
I never heard that part. Wow. Okay.
So that, that first night, it's like, wow, this is pretty good.
Wow. Okay.
We were hustling, right to the very, very end. And so it was exciting. And we honestly didn't know if anyone would come or not. We thought it was a great idea. And I'll tell you that, we were open Friday and Saturday evenings, and we had 2,451 cars come through that first year.
That's awesome.
And it has grown exponentially, since then. But it was, it's been a labor of love that whole time.
So that first night where you didn't have power until that night, and then everything goes on. Was everybody pleased with the way it looked?
Oh, yes. We were, and I will tell you, shocked at how nice it was.
That's what I was going to say. I would not being able to test it. That's great.
And it was, and it was interesting in that, we have had sponsors, loyal sponsors that have been there since day one. And again, we honestly, we were promising a light show, but
sure
didn't know, what it's going to be like for sure. There were people with a lot of heart, and as I say, a lot of talent that could do it. And one thing, again, from the beginning, it was like, think big, come up with an idea and make it bigger. And then when you think it's really big, make it bigger than that, because it is amazing how something looks really large, but you get it 10, 20, 50 feet off the side of the road,
right,
and it shrinks. And so that, it is amazing that, some of our stuff is 15 feet tall, 14 feet tall, and that, you don't realize, and then, the length of them, that, they may be 30 feet long, some of these things, but it's just that, for them to show up, that they need to have some size on them.
Right. So how many people were in the core group at the beginning, that first year? How many were in that core group of putting this thing together?
I'll say 10, and I should be able to rattle them. But roughly, I think 10 people that were there. That, as I say, we met every Wednesday. We actually worked in people's garages and basements. And then we moved to the Chatham Township garage, and we were able to use their welding machines. To start,
that probably helped out a lot.
Yes, it did. Yes, it did. Yeah. And then, just went, from there, and it was quite something. And again, we didn't know how it would work.
Yeah.
And so, we were absolutely shocked and thrilled that we had that many cars the first year.
No doubt about it. So after that first year, it was a success and everything, but what were some of the lessons learned early on? It's like, hey, well, I think it'd be cool to maybe do this or do that. What are some of the changes that were made?
We always wanted, again, from the beginning, we wanted to make the next year bigger and better. Because again, if you want your guests to return, that they need to see improvements. Safety was always an issue, and and again, that working with electricity and stuff, that there were many challenges, and having things outdoors, the weather, and all that, and and again, like the arches, we had to make them 14 feet high so that the snow plows could get under them. If we had to worry about that, and that's what, there's always weather concerns. And so, but then, as I say, we had nothing. And so that, we were running, with a tight budget. And like, I mean, I used to bend over and, if there was a zip tie, I mean, I would, pick that up or,
Sure.
do not leave a light bulb around, that,
Uh-huh.
we got those and just went from there. And then, we rented space to store our items. And then, another thing that happened, with the rail relocation and also the high-speed rail, the building where the JCs stored their items for sweet corn and other equipment was in the path of the high-speed thing, and we're gonna lose that.
Sure.
And then the JCs also for years had wanted to have their own building, and then that became a reality, and they constructed the building, and so half was the JC side and half was the Chatham Friends of the Parks, and so we owed them for half of that, which we
Sure.
paid back over 5 years. But again, we were in a, a rental area before. We had limited access time-wise and everything, and so then, and this was actually in 2015 that we did this.
Yeah.
So then we had a place to work on our own to be able to, build more things, and got a little bit bigger and better. And people, it was very interesting that people took on certain tasks. That there was a very tall couple who liked putting the lights in trees, and so it was their job.
There.
That they,
Sure.
they
Sure.
put on the lights in the trees, and there were others that that enjoyed doing the electrical hookups. There were electricians that would come and help in the evenings. And once upon a time, we were all young guys, and it was like, we were doing a lot of that at night in the dark.
A true community effort
as we
amongst
were
all of you.
doing that. And then as time has gone on, 1 or 2 or 15 of us have retired and stuff, so that
Sure.
we're able to do a lot more in this in the daytime. But it grew progressively each year. I think the second year we had like 4,000 cars, and third year 5. We were having demands for more nights. And again, it is all volunteer driven. It's
Right.
and you have to ask for people to come out and do everything.
Mhm.
And so we did expand to Thursday through Saturday, and that worked out really well. And then we opened up later on to Thursday through Sunday, and we have pretty much stuck to that schedule, since then, and has worked because again, there's a lot of demand because it takes a whole month to get the thing set up,
Oh yeah. Yeah. It's huge.
and you have to tear it down afterwards, and so
Yeah.
that there's thousands of man hours that go into this thing.
Right. I was there on Sunday. So I went with my family on Sunday. We do it every year. What I saw on Sunday, what would you say? What percentage of that was there that first year?
Maybe 20%.
That's what I was
I mean,
thinking. Maybe is it like 20-30% probably? Yeah.
Because all of the single the arches with just the light bulbs,
Yeah.
they're from the beginning. The ones with you can honestly tell the handmade, I guess, the bells and the snowflakes and that type thing,
Sure.
were there from, and then again the lights in the trees
Mm-hmm.
and the candy canes,
Yeah.
were there.
No,
And I want to say we had 4 or 5 items that moved that first year,
uh-huh.
and it's very off. I can't tell, but I mean, we probably have 80
Oh, you have a
things
ton that
moving,
move you.
that are moving right
Yeah,
now.
absolutely.
It's interesting on that.
Yeah.
So
No, it's a couple of them that I noticed when I was there that, and maybe you had them the last couple of years and I just didn't notice them, but I don't know, they seemed very vibrant color wise. They're like the LEDs, I guess, probably. They're just different characters and stuff, but they felt very vibrant to me.
well, thank you, and that is one thing that we have. There's one thing that was, again, with our costs, that when we buy lights, we're considered a wholesaler. We're big enough to do that.
Yeah.
And we buy them in a case of 1,000. And at that time, when we started, we could get the incandescent bulbs for 13 cents and the LEDs were 95 cents. So that, we just did not have
Yeah.
the money to do those. But we have converted, over the years almost. And then like all of our original things have now all been converted from incandescent. And that's, that they do jump, so much more. Even like the skaters and the skating
Yeah.
rink that when we were putting them up this year, it's like, oh man, we forgot to, and so that, and so we've got all that done. And even like that skating rink, when we converted that was one of the first things that we were, converted to LED, because there's over 2,000 bulbs in that
Oh,
in
wow.
that skating
Yeah.
rink, and so that the power demand, was much less as far as your infrastructure to get it to it.
Sure.
Took a big load off doing that, and so we tried to hit some of those big things. And even like the tunnel lights
Yeah.
that you see, they were mini lights, but the original were incandescent minis, and those have all been converted over, and and that's a heck of a lot more sophisticated than when we first started,
Sure.
as you can see, because it's all computer animated now and everything, which when we get it all done is 110 feet. But then we also have there's a 25-foot tree and then two 12-foot trees that are next to that. They're also timed
Uh-huh.
and, connected to the music and the light sequences on that.
It is so cool. It's
So-
just a tremendous, benefit
Yeah.
to the community for people to be able
Oh,
to go see
thank
that
you.
in the holiday season. It's just awesome.
And I can tell you, our sponsors, one of them from the beginning, Fairing Ornamental Ironworks,
Mhm.
has made many of the fancier things. So the arch, and again, the original arches were the skinny ones that you see, and then
Mhm.
there's other that are beefier, and Fairing made those, the ones with the deer jumping over the road. There are 3 of those, and he actually did the cursive work on the light up the park, the
Yeah.
signs, and the welcome, and the happy holidays at the end. He did that, and then the 3D forest that we call, were the 32 trees that are dancing.
Yeah.
They made the frames for those. And again, you talk about sign, those trees are actually 8, 10, 12, and 14 feet tall. They don't look it, but
Right from it, yeah.
and so, but they did that, and they also were the creators of the Chatham Strong display.
Oh,
this
they
year.
did that?
Yes, they
Okay.
did. Yeah.
Mhm. That was beautiful, by the way.
Thank you
They
very,
did a
very
great
much.
job on
Thank
that.
you. That was just a tragic situation, and we think very fitting display that came from that.
Yeah, no doubt about it. On Fairing, they had a beautiful truck there toward the end, too.
Yes.
That's an
Yes.
awesome truck.
Yes.
He's,
And it's funny, there's a story. Lou and I were assistant scoutmasters in the scout troop when our boys were in school, and we laughed because he used to pull the troop trailer with that truck.
oh, did he?
And so it's, there's been a long history with that thing.
That's cool. That's cool. No, I mean, over the years, you said you've had some sponsors since the very beginning.
Yes.
But I mean, I'm driving through there on Sunday and I see a lot of sponsors, a lot of signs, a lot of different companies.
mean,
so I would
it's-
imagine that's grown tremendously over the years, too.
Absolutely. And I will tell you that we try to run it off of the sponsorships, because they say, we have to make things better every year to get people to return. And so we have printing costs, but we have insurance, just a lot of things, and,
Mhm.
and maintenance. And we have miles of hardwire, we have miles of extension cords. I mean, all those things that go into it. And but we try to, spend within that budget of, what we hope to get from our sponsors to keep that going.
Absolutely.
And
So,
then you use the money that we receive from the donations that come in to do park improvements.
oh, okay. That's the next thing I was going to ask you. So the Friends of the Park is light up the park its sole endeavor, or are there other things
No,
that Friends of the Park does?
Well, we have 2 other events. Pausapalooza, which was started to raise money to build a dog park in Chatham, which was funded primarily with income from Light Up the Park. And the Pausapalooza, we honestly use the money now to go towards dog park maintenance and improvements.
Oh, okay.
But we paid for the dog park. We paid for all the fencing, all the work that was done there to get that open. We actually built the 2 shade shelters that are there. We did that last fall and finished it up this spring. And put in the 2 benches that are there. We have we've paid for all the trees that are in the dog park out of funds from both Pausapalooza, but also Light Up the Park.
Yeah.
Primarily. We have another event called Kite Up the Park, which is a day of kite flying, which we have now combined with Pausapalooza and hold
Okay.
them on the same day. And that's just a very, very, very pleasant event where people can come and spend some time and enjoy the park. We normally have the Chicago Kite Company that comes and does demos, and they have these amazing 100-foot kites and stuff that are up
Oh,
there.
wow.
And I mean, it is and it has to be windy, and that's
Yeah.
that park is normally very windy. I will tell you that. We have had 2 years for Kite Up the Park where it has been absolutely
Completely still.
and it's
No.
it's just kind of a disappointment on that.
Yeah.
But
I'm going to come to that
it
next
is
one, though. That sounds cool.
it's a feel good event, and it has worked out well with tying it in with Pausapalooza, and that, that people can be, walking their dogs and watching, it's interesting, but then, families will bring their kids to fly kites, then they'll come in to the, watch the dog activities and stuff. And because we have demonstrations, we've had St. Louis disc dog, world champions doing performances, and we do police dog demonstrations, and then have like pet costumes and stuff like that. It's just, have some food and music and stuff, and it's nice. But the Friends have done a lot to, again, we had to spend all our money getting Light Up the Park.
Well, of course, yeah.
And we've done things such as we'll pay for a load or two of wood chips in the playgrounds. Since then, as I said, our biggest thing has been funding of the creation of the dog park, in which we still maintain. I have another friend and I that we man the poop bag stations, and, and just take care of that as we go along. But we've paid out a total of $15,000 towards the original creation and the expansion of the pickleball courts.
Oh yeah,
in Chatham. We actually just paid $5,000 towards the Diamond 4 conversion to AstroTurf. We just did that. There's a sign in the stone wall at the Main Street entrance of Community Park that we paid over $2,100 for that sign to be replaced. We've planted many trees in different parks too, and we've committed $5,000 to. There's going to be some work done for the CCFL football area to make a little ADA compliant in the spring.
That's amazing. And
try to do things.
That's a lot. Well, we out a lot.
We planted the Christmas tree in the square that is wet. Friends put that in.
Yeah.
And so
that's awesome. So people driving through Light Up the Park, not only are they getting a phenomenal show, they know that their donation is going to fund other things like this, fund improvements to the parks. That's just flat out awesome.
Right.
So, anything you'd like to say to the community for the support over the years?
Just thank you. It is, as I say, we couldn't do it without our sponsors. And I will tell you that, all the local guests, we have people that we see come through there 3, 4, 10, 15 times.
Hello again.
We get to know the license plates coming through on some of them that are coming through. And, just thank you for your continued support and generosity. It's just something that, again, it's just improves the quality of life in town, but it is just a wonderful thing. And as I say, I was helping direct traffic the other night, and I was down at Goldenrod in Park just trying to keep cars moving. And then, heard something like they weren't even in the park yet. And I heard this little boy say, "This is so cool." But he could see it coming up. That's one thing too, that when it's in operation, you can actually walk behind the scenes and you're invisible there. And you can, hear the comments like, "Dad, slow down," or, "Wow, look at that." And, like, "Geez, that's great." It's just so wonderful to hear that, because people puts them in such a nice mood. It is just a really, really, really feel good, situation. But again, we're benefiting the community by doing this too. And so,
no, absolutely doing a lot of great work to be able to make a tremendous impact on the community. So you gave the number that, that first year was around 2,500 cars.
Right.
This year's not quite over yet, but how many cars went through last year, or how many cars do you expect this year?
Last year was over 9,000.
Woo!
Our biggest year was during COVID, where the only thing people could do was ride in their cars.
Yeah,
and we had over 13,000 cars that year. Our traffic is honestly down this year. We're down more than 2,000 cars from last year. We've had some challenging weather.
Yeah, you've had some weekends where there was some,
But I will tell you, the last 3 nights have been quite good. So we're hoping that, again, that we're open now through Christmas night, and that, we can make some of that back. But it was, it's been pretty great the last 3 days.
Right. So what are the hours on these last couple of nights that you're open?
We are open 6 to 9 through Christmas night on the 25th. I hope to see you there.
Awesome. Everybody get out there. Well, Rollo, I like to ask this of all of our guests that come in here. Is there anything we could do community-wide to help all of us here elevate Springfield and the surrounding communities?
When you say they should do something about this, we are the they.
Yeah.
Get involved and come help out. And it will just make this a better place.
Love it. Be the they. I like that.
You know.
I like that. Be they. I love that. Awesome.
So,
All right. Well, Rollo, if there's somewhere somebody wants, of course, they can come out to the park, but is there, if they want to learn a little bit more about what Friends of the Park does, is there somewhere they could go look at
sure,
that?
you could find Chatham Friends of the Parks on Facebook. You can call me. My number's 217-415-8513. Be happy to talk to you anytime.
Awesome. Well, Rollo, appreciate you spending some time with me today.
Robert, thank you.
Yeah,
Appreciate it.
Absolutely. So everybody get out there to Chatham, light up the park. And we're going to let Rollo get back to elevating Springfield and Chatham for that matter. For the rest of y'all, we'll be right back.
Hey, Springfield, when it comes to reliable, high-quality roofing, you don't want to leave things to chance. That's why you should reach out to Acosta Angeli Roofing, your local roofing expert, serving Springfield and surrounding communities. From quick, dependable repairs to full replacement, from residential to commercial, they are your trusted pros. Call them today at 217-993-2748 or visit their website to book your free quote and inspection. Don't wait. A little leak now could lead to major damage later. Trust the local experts, protect your home, and get peace of mind with Acosta Angeli Roofing.
Well, thank you for joining us today, everybody, on another segment of Communities Grow Together on the Elevate Springfield podcast. Thank you again to David Hilst, American Family Insurance Agency, for partnering with us on this segment. Hey, take what you learned today. You bring the discipline and follow through, and together, that's right, y'all, we're going to elevate Springfield. Be great.
Looking for expert tree care with hometown integrity? Look no further than Sangamon Tree Service. They're your trusted local pros, delivering quality workmanship, exceptional customer service, and fair, honest pricing every time. Whether it's trimming, removal, or storm cleanup, their team brings professionalism and care to every job, big or small. Call the name your neighbors trust, Sangamon Tree Service, or visit them today at SangamonTreeService.com. Sangamon Tree Service, rooted in quality, built on trust.